What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. Today's video, we have the best solo builds to defeat the upcoming 7-star Rock Terra Infernape raid for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. These solo builds are intended for you to beat the raid offline all by yourself. And the raid is coming this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and it's going to be coming back in a week after as well. So we're going to have 2 weeks to try to beat this Infernape, but with these builds, you should have a really great chance of doing it. And we have over 6 of them that you can build. And of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining PanFam by hitting that join channel member button below. Real quick, the Infernape will have its hidden ability, Iron Fist, giving punchy moves an additional 20% damage. It has a great physical and special attacking stats, and it does have 108 speed. So it's going to be hard to actually outspeed it in general. So some builds, we just won't even try to do that. It's probably going to have a strong physical rock move like Stone Edge or Rock Slide. I can see it have Fire Punch or Flare Blitz for a fire move, Drain Punch or Close Combat for a physical move, and then for coverage moves, has excellent coverage like Thunder Punch, Acrobatics, and Zen Headbutts to beat some of the counters against it. For special moves, it could pop off of a Grass Knot to beat the Mud Boys, Overheat just to do a one big time damage fire move, and it gets all the good setup moves like Swords Dance, Bulk Up, Nasty Plot. It also gets Calm Mind too, and Focus Energy. It also could use Taunt. So Infernape is definitely a threat, but it's pretty frail with its lower HP defense and special defensive stats. So if we can just survive through the initial barrage, we should be able to do a lot of damage, get all our HP back with some Shell Bell action. Going over our first solo build, I think Malamar is going to be very valid here. If the Infernape does have Swords Dance or Bulk Up on its regular moveset, then Malamar is going to be the best raid build to defeat this Infernape. So the Terra Fighting with the Shell Bell, max attack, max defense, Adamant Nature, the ability Contrary. So if it does have, let's say, Bulk Up on its regular moveset, you're going to use turn 1 skill swap onto it, give it Contrary. So now it's going to use Bulk Up and lowers the physical attack and physical defense stats by 1. Then at that point, you're going to use Terra Blast a bunch of times until you charge up your orb. You want to die, and then when you come back, you're going to start using superpowers. And with superpower, you're going to have Contrary, so you're going to get +1 attack and defense whenever you use it. And then you're going to hit that Terra, so it's going to be Terra boosted, super effective superpower. And you're just going to be able to easily steamroll this raid with something like Malamar if it does have a setup move on its regular moveset. Now, another amazing option is actually going to be Clodsire with Terra Ground and the Shell Bell. We're going to have the ability Unaware, so if the Infernape does have any sort of setup moves, we're going to ignore all of that, and we're not going to notice it. So if it has like Calm Mind, we don't even see it. If it has Swords Dance, we don't even see it. We just don't pay attention to any of the stat changes on the Infernape side. And we're going to be running max attack, max defense with an Adamant Nature. We want max defense because Clodsire has a very low defensive stat, but an already very high HP and special defense stats. So you really want to invest in that defense because the Infernape should be much more physical. Also, because you are a poison and ground type, you are going to resist the rock moves and the fighting moves coming your way, which is really nice. So what you're going to do here is you're going to set up with Curse. Curse is going to increase your attack and defense and lower your speed. So that's essentially his bulk up by just lowering your speed, which is very nice. And then you have Stab, super effective, Terra boosted, Earthquakes coming your way. You have nice recovery with Recover, so you could use Recover with the Shell Bell, or you could replace the Shell Bell and have a Metronome if you want to go down that route. But I just like having Shell Bell because it makes it a little bit easier to pilot in general. And then you have Protect for the 1 turn. It removes Unaware. You can use Protect on that turn so you don't get hit by a boosted close combat or whatever it's going to hit you with. Another great option is going to be Terra Fighting Annihilate with the item Metronome. I'm running max HP, max attack, Adamant Nature. Your ability doesn't really matter, but I always default to Defiant. And Annihilate's great because you are Ghost in Fighting, so you're immune to fighting and you're going to resist Rock. So you only have to really worry about the fire type moves coming your way. And we have Bulk Up to increase our attack and defensive stats to give us better bulk. We have Focus Energy to give us a 50% crit rate. You have Taunt, which you can do on turn 1 to prevent any sort of setup from the Infernape. And then you can start setting up your own bulk ups. And then once you're in a good spot to set up, you're going to use Metronome, Drain Punch. And every time you hit Drain Punch in a row, you're going to be doing an additional bonus damage. And it's going to stack up to 5 times, or essentially allow you to do double damage, which is really huge. And its Stab, super effective, Terra boosted, Drain Punch is going to do a lot to Infernape. Now, another phenomenal option is going to be Swampert with the Terra Ground and the Shell Bell. Water Ground's great because you are going to resist fire and you're going to resist rock. So you only got to worry about the fighting type moves. And we're going max attack, max defense with an adamant nature. Your ability doesn't really matter. I have Torrent on just in case you somehow get low and your water moves can do more, but it's not going to really matter because we're going to be hitting him with ground type moves because Earthquake is going to be our best physical stab super effective Terra boosted move that we can run on this Pokemon. So what's nice about this is we do have Mud Slap and Chilling Water support, so we can start off the raid by using some Mud Slaps, you know, doing some accuracy drops and building up our Terra Orb, or you can do physical attack drops and build up our Terra Orb. Both are going to be great options in general. Not going to do a lot of damage because they're both special, but it's still going to be pretty good, and they both work through shields. Then when you're ready to set up, start setting up your bulk ups, increase your attack and defense, so you better take those hits. And then Earthquake will do a lot of damage. The only thing that really beats the Swampert build, honestly, is going to be Grass Knot. So if you see Grass Knot, or if like for some reason, Sunny Day Solar Beam, yeah, Swampert's not going to work. But it is a great, excellent option because it has wonderful resistances in general. Now, something very similar to the Swampert that you could run is going to be the Garchomp. And Garchomp is Dragon Ground, so you're going to resist fire and you're going to resist rocks. So you really got to worry about the fighting. And you're going to have Terra Ground with the Shell Bell. Max attack, max defense, adamant nature. Your ability, Rough Skin. So whenever it does make a contact move against you, it will proc the Rough Skin. So it'll do a little bit of damage back to itself, which is pretty nice. And this is definitely much more of an offensive version than that Swampert, because instead of bulk up, we're going to be running the Swords Dance. And Swords Dance is very good, increase your attack by 2. And we have Earthquake for the stab, super effective Terra boosted move. Now, we don't have Mud Slap, which is quite unfortunate, but we do have Sand Attack. So you could pepper in like 1 or 2 Sand Attacks in the beginning. Unfortunately, it will not go through shields and it will not build up your Terra Charge, but it will lower that accuracy. But you also have Breaking Swipe, which is really nice. So it will lower the physical attack, both through shields, and it will build up your Terra Charge. So, you know, Breaking Swipes 3 times, and then you can go for like Swords Dance, Earthquakes, and it should be good to go. And the nice thing about Garchomp is you have really good stats overall. You have a much higher attack than Swampert, and the fact that you do have the Swords Dance, but you don't have a way to increase your defense. So that is a little bit problematic in general. So it depends. Swampert's more physical, defensive oriented, but Garchomp is going to be more physical, attacking oriented. So just depends on how the raid is going to work out between these two. Now, Appleton, I think, is being slept on in this raid. I think it'll be really good with the Terra Grass and the Shell Bell. Now, it is Grass and Dragon, so it's going to be neutral to fire in the beginning. And, you know, it doesn't have the best resistances, but you do have Thick Fat. And with Thick Fat and that dual typing, you're actually going to resist fire, which is really nice. So you can actually get hit by a lot of fire moves and be able to take them pretty decently well. And we're going to go max special attack, max defense with a modest nature. And what I like about Appleton is you have Apple Acid, which will be stab, super effective, build up your Terra Charge, and lower the target's special defensive stat. So you can just spam this with the Shell Bell, get that HP back, and lower the defensive stats of the Infernape. And you can also increase your own defensive stats, so you can go for like an Iron Defense on turn 1, turn 2, get to that +4. You also have Light Screen. For some reason, if it does have like an overheat, you can use a Light Screen just to take that hit a little bit better. And then once you're done with the Apple Acids, you can go for a stronger Grass type move with the Energy Ball as well. It does 10 more damage than Apple Acid. But overall, I think this Pokemon will be pretty decent, and you actually have pretty good defenses in general. So Appleton could be a dark horse in this race. And now we have our body pressers that I really enjoy. Arceus is going to be a pretty solid body presser. Steel Dragon is nice. You do resist the rock moves with the Terra Fighting. Why I like this Pokemon is whenever you get hit by any move from the Infernape, your stamina will be active and your defense boost will boost up by 1. So every time you get hit, essentially by the end of turn 2, you should be at +6, because turn 1, turn 2, you go for Iron Defense, that puts you at +4. Infernape hits you twice, you're at +6. Now you have max defense, you take the hits really well, and then you can go for Body Press spam, and Body Press does damage based on your user's defensive stat. So a max, essentially this is like a max attack having +6 defense, which is really nice. Now you also have Breaking Swipe to lower the physical attack if you need to, also builds up charge, and Focus Energy for any crit shenanigans. Now Como-O is going to do the exact same thing, but the difference between Como-O and Arceus is your typing is actually a fighting type, which means you're going to get stab body press. They're going to actually do even more damage, and you know, you still resist the rock moves, but because you're not a steel type, you also do resist the fire type moves, which is really nice too. The big, also another difference is you don't have stamina, So you will have to go for an extra body press in the beginning, or an extra iron defense in the beginning to get that defense. So turn 3, you'll have max defense, and then you can go for body press spam. But instead of having focus energy, I actually like taunt here. If the Infernape does have some sort of setup moves, you can go for a turn 1 taunt and just try to prevent it from setting up on you too much. And you can also try to speed creep it, by the way. Like, if you want to put a little bit more speed investment in any of these Pokemon that have like taunt, or Pokemon that prevent the Infernape from doing any sort of move, you can put a little bit more speed just to make sure you try to outspeed it, because Infernape is pretty fast, but a lot of these dragon types can definitely outspeed it. But once again, max HP, max defense with a impish nature, and very simple stuff. And the last body presser I'm going to recommend is the Dash Bun. Now, this one only works if the Infernape has any sort of fire type moves that it's spamming against you. But, you know, you have Terra Fighting and the Shell Bell. Your ability makes you immune to fire and gives you +2 defense. So we're going to go max HP, max defense with a bold nature. And essentially, we're just going to use Charm in the beginning to lower that physical attack stat. Hope it goes for fire type moves like a Flare Blitz, Fire Punch, or Flamethrower against us. And then we're going to start spamming Body Press once we get that chance. And then we also have Tail Whip for accuracy drops, or Mud Slap for accuracy drops, and Tail Whip for physical defense drops in the beginning. If we really need it, probably wouldn't use this move, but between Body Press, Mud Slap, and Charm, this Pokemon should work. It all depends if the Infernape is going to have a lot of fire type moves. If it doesn't, then Kommo-o and Archodon will probably be better choices. But there we have it, guys. Those are the best solo builds to defeat this Pokemon. So we have 9 solo builds that you should try out, and really 7 different kinds of solo builds that you can try out here. So hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, and have a great one.